Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another Stock Kings YouTube video. And today we'll be going over NanoDimension, ticker symbol NNDM. We're going to be going over some upcoming news that's going to affect NanoDimension, as well as how Cathie Wood is buying this dip and is super bullish on this company. But before we get into any of that, I want you guys to go ahead, give a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you know whenever we're coming out with a new video. I also have my Instagram link down below if you would be interested in following that. I always post details about the channel and upcoming news affecting this channel. But getting right into it, we are here on the NanoDimension chart on the daily. In the past, we had a pretty big run up, hitting a high of around $17, $18, and then a very significant sell-off of this company, breaking through the 50 EMA, and then coming down to a low of about 653. But today, however, we are super bullish. Strong green candle coming up. We're up about 16.35% on the day. And honestly, everything is pretty up today. We're looking very good, coming off of these strong supports here. Let's take a look at the overall market. Yes, very strong green bullish candle, rejecting off the 50 EMA. That's exactly like what I like to see. And it looks like we may be coming out of this kind of downturn in the overall market. But back to NNDM. Yeah, so we look to have created a pretty strong support here on the daily around this zone here at 758, and it looks like we are rejecting to the upside and to test some new highs, maybe even come up to this resistance around here on the, sorry about that, around here on the 50 EMA. So this would be kind of our range that would be looking to kind of play around in on the daily. But let's get right into that upcoming news affecting NanoDimension. So if we go over to their investor website, we can see here on Thursday, March 11th, 2021, 9 a.m., there are going to be a full year 2020 conference call where they will be discussing how the full year 2020 went. And I can also expect them to come out around this time, probably after market close, with their Q4 earnings as well. So I would definitely mark this in my calendar. This is a date that you guys should be watching out for if you are interested in NNDM NanoDimension. And also, if you're just interested in this sector as a whole, as in 3D printing, this is definitely a date you want to be watching out for. So again, Thursday, March 11th, 9 a.m. is when they have a conference call, but I can also see them coming out with their earnings on this date as well. Moving on, we also have Cathie Wood, very interested in this company. So let's kind of get into that. We have an article here on Yahoo. Cathie Wood shares thoughts on NanoDimension. So this came out very recently. She joined Bazinga's Raz report last week discussing the history of ARK funds and some reasons that she's in a certain positions for the ARK funds. And she specifically talked about NanoDimension as one of the big holds for ARK funds, and why she was interested in this company. So she says originally it used to call itself a 3D printed circuit board company, but now it's kind of broadened its position. It's doing more different kinds of things to drum up business, and it's kind of changing how people look at the 3D printed technology as well. One of the important things about NanoDimension's story is their contracts they are winning with defense agencies, which is super important. The defense agencies, as Cathie Wood and the ARC team, are always looking where the defense is putting their money. So basically, NanoDimension is using their 3D technology for these defense government contracts, and they are winning a lot of them. And there is a lot of money in these defense contracts, guys. They basically have unlimited spending with these governments because any government defense agency, they want to have the best defense in the world, and they are willing to spend so much money on it. You can see the U.S. just by itself, we spend more money on anything than defense. That is super important. Tons of money in that space. And now that NanoDimension is kind of getting in that space, super important for them. It should drum up a lot of revenue for them moving forward. And hopefully we can kind of see that in their upcoming revenues on March 11th if they do come out on that date. Again, it's not confirmed for that date, but there's definitely a possibility with that news of on NanoDimension's website of that conference call. So again, Cathie Wood's super bullish on this company. They're adding positions as it came down in those price ranges. She's like looking at this super bullish. As it goes down, she was putting more money into it. But let's move on into the technical side of it. Let's get into this chart. So we kind of formed a great support here around 750, 765, as we talked about at the beginning of the video. And moving forward, we are kind of expecting to come up to this resistance at 1178 with more good news. As you can see today, we're hitting a 16% increase. We're up about $1.30 on the day, looking super great here pretty early. But our next kind of resistance, if you are long term, if we do break past this 1170 number, we'll be looking to come up to about here. This would be our next resistance point. We have a lot of clean candles coming down to this area. So if we do come up, test this resistance again, and this 50 EMA, it's kind of tucked in here, if you guys can see that. We'll be looking to break out of that and come up here to the next resistance at 1687. So that's kind of the long term that I'm looking at. And however, if we do come back down below this support, if we do come back down in the next couple of days, break through this support, our next support would then be at the 200 around 530. But if you do catch anything in this is obviously even greater value, especially if Cathie Woods and the ARC team is putting more money into this. If you're catching anything on this stock in this area, you are getting great value for a long-term hold. Now for the people that are looking more into some shorter term trades, let's look at the 30-minute chart. So as you can see here, we got a really good rejection off this 50 EMA to come up now today to come up to here. So I would say we could probably put this as our kind of short-term trade support here at 796. And then I would say probably our next resistance, looking back at previous price action, would probably be here based on this right here. So it kind of was following the 50 EMA down, came down, created support here yesterday, and we were able to get a break past that 50 EMA. And I would expect it to come up and test this next resistance here on a short-term trade at 1056. And then anything above that is definitely a trouble area. You have the 200 EMA coming down, and you also have our daily support at 1182. So if we do come up and kind of test this resistance, I would definitely be very, very cautious anywhere past this. So if you are taking trades, currently we are here. If you are taking a trade up to here, this would be your first price target. And then you could probably, I would say, do on the low of the day. That would be then your stop loss. So you're looking here to come up to around 1053. And then if it does come past, break that resistance, be very, very careful because you have almost two resistance in this then zone here. So if it does start to reject off any of these zones, I would be looking at to take my full position out. So if we do get a break above this area, we'll be moving our next price target to around here. I know it's not very big, but you have to be very, very careful. And then I would be looking at to move my stops. I mean, you can keep it a little wider here because this would then be created as a resistance if it does break above. So if it does break anywhere below this then created support, you would be looking out to take your full position. And then again, if it does move up above, you would then be moving your next price target to here. And then your stops would then be here at this support. So that's kind of the short-term, long-term plays I'm looking at. Again, be very wary of the upcoming news. There's going to be a lot of volatility during that time on March 11th this week. But we also have Cathie Wood's very bullish on this stock, so we can be looking forward to earnings being positive, especially if they are drumming up new contracts with these governments. But I think that's all I have for you today as in regards to NanoDimension. If you found value in this video, go ahead, give a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you know whenever we come out with a new video. And also I have my Instagram linked below if you would be interested. But as always, guys, have an excellent day, go get some gains, and I will see you next time. Peace.